Alright guys, got a 10-minute unrated game up against an opponent rated 1359, and he's played this funny kind of double advanced version of the French. Now if he plays... Oh, whoa! Never had this before. This is great. Okay, the Steinitz attack. What the hell? Right? I don't know if that even deserves a name. I mean, is this playable? Because look, I've now got two slightly advanced pawns, right? And he, after 3 moves, he has no development whatsoever. None. Okay, so he's got a knight out on the board. His bishop could come out. That's the only real kind of potential threat, but I can block that with bishop or knight. I'm not too worried about that. I think just knight f6. Yeah, if in doubt, it tends to make sense to push the to develop the opposite side knight to the one your opponent just does, unless they've played the Vienna. Now I have this central pawn majority, right? I'm missing a c pawn. He's missing his king's pawn, the e pawn. So it's tempting to push d5. That allows my dark squared bishop out into the board. My light squared bishop's got a problem anyway. Or I could just develop my bishop, or I could just develop my knight. I think developing the knight kind of makes sense. If he pushes that though, I take. I don't know. How about just d5 then? d5 takes his square away from the knight. Okay, I'm just going to block that with the bishop. Wow, he's in a swapping mood, eh? Okay. Oh, he really is. Now I'm going to block this with the knight. If he fancies swapping off his other bishop, then again I get to move towards the centre with a pawn. Capture towards the centre. My opponent's called Hamid 11CA and he's from Iran. Okay, so now you see twice now I've captured towards the centre. So now he's missing the king's pawn. I'm missing the queen's knight's pawn, the b pawn. Okay, so now I have this lovely pawn majority in the middle, right? And I'm defended by that. Okay, so now I could castle. I could play queen b6, attack this. That would also be a second attacker on that. If I could add a third attacker, that would be even better. Queen here, he does something about this. I push, takes, queen takes. I think that looks all right. I don't have anything major to worry about because he's developed a couple of pieces and then just swapped them straight off. Another very important imbalance in the game is that my opponent has knights left and I have bishops left. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, one thing it means is I want to keep these buggers away from my king. The other thing is I want to open up the board. So I'm inclined to play my bishop here to a6. What that does is it stops white from castling. And he's going to struggle. I mean, he could block it with that knight. That's the only way he can really block. But look, this develops a piece. Also notice, note to self, that knight is undefended. Okay, so I could even come here and pin this knight as well. Is it worth doing that before I castle? Is it? Ooh. Yeah, I'm thinking this, and the other reason is I'd love to push c5. Right? Because if he takes here, yeah, then look, the knight is in trouble. Or the rook behind it is in trouble. So if I push this now, can I push this now? Pawn takes, bishop takes, and he's in serious trouble, right? So he can't capture with a pawn. The knight can move out the way, but where's he going to go? Here, or here, or here, or here? Okay, he's gone there. 2 defenders now on this pawn. 3 defenders, including the queen. So I could trade queens, in which case he's going to recapture with that knight. Then I can take out this knight, pawn recaptures, and I win myself a pawn, and attack the rook. Yeah? Makes sense? King recaptures doesn't make sense. So now if I wish, I can take out this knight. If pawn recaptures, white ends up with double pawns there, and then I get myself a pawn, and comes with tempo, yeah? So first things first, let's take out this knight. I'm not too concerned because I've already got a light squared pawn chain, which makes life slightly harder for my light squared bishop. Now, big question. Capture with a bishop or capture with a pawn? There may be an argument to capture with a pawn, right? So yeah, capturing the bishop, yes, it comes with an attack on the rook, but that's not exactly a hard attack to A, notice, or B, get out the way of, right? So he's just going to move his rook, probably stick it on a light square, and carry on about his day. Okay, now, capturing with a pawn, one thing I like about this is this pawn or this pawn, these are the only opportunities that he's got to undouble the B pawns, right? If I capture with a pawn, I don't know. No, I'm going to capture with the bishop. I may even stick the bishop here and pin the knight again. Then I can castle if I want. I think it makes sense to castle. There's no queens on the board. Fair enough. However, what's his idea? Bishop there. Stops him castling. Does stop him castling. I can still castle. If nothing else, it gets my rook into the game, right? In one move. So now look at the situation. My opponent's got 1, 2, 3. So he's evaluating the board, right? 1, 2, 3, and then he's got basically 2. These doubled. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a singleton. Wow, gosh. Gosh. Now if he pushes here, I think I'd like to push back and kind of come up the center. So I think let's get my rooks ready, right? Rooks, big, major, important, powerful pieces. Still he can't castle. What that means is he's going to struggle to get... Wow, he's done it again. Stop it. How about rook f to b8, attacking this pawn? He can't defend. Rook can't go there. Rook can't go there because pawn takes. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think there's a... I spy with my little eye something beginning with P. Righteous. Then I might even drop the rook back here and try and swap off this guy because he looks like he's a swapsy kind of player. Okay, free pawn. Free pawn, free pawn, free pawn. This bishop can always come back away. That's not too risky. I could just trade off the bishop for the knight and then grab the free pawn. But there's no real need. I think on a board like this, you know, light squared pawn chain, my opponent's pawns are spread out, both sides of the board. I think this bishop is a better piece than that knight. That's what I'm gambling on. So, it's got nice mobility. Okay, now he wants to take out my bishop. Whatever. Okay, what's undefended? That's undefended. My first thought is just to drop the bishop back down here. Attacking this pawn means that this rook needs to keep defending it unless he wants to push that, which he probably will. I could drop my bishop down here and trap in the rook. And then rook here? No, because it undefends the bishop. Right, let's get a move on. I'm down to 2 minutes. Okay. You're keeping me talking. It's not my fault. Okay, so I'm going to play quickly now. I've got severe advantage. Let's try and convert. Okay, so I'm going to play quickly. Need to defend this. Oh, maybe bishop there would have been good. Might still do it. Why not? And then push, push, push with the pawns. I've got 2 extra pawns. I've got this one and this one, effectively. Okay. So he's trying a pawn offensive here, but I can always capture with the e pawn, and that opens up space towards his king. So I'm kind of okay about that. Now I'm going to attack this guy. And if he comes forward, he's coming off the board. So what are you going to do? Defend with a rook? If the rook comes off the back rank, I've got c4, and this pawn's pinned because the rook's the only defender of that knight, isn't it? Okay. Right, let's try this. Speediness now. Time is of the essence. Time is of the essence, you see. Okay, right, now we're going to block off. So block, 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 block. It's only good for me. Right, he's only got so many pawns to play with. He's only got 5 pawns. Right, if this guy comes forward, boom, he's off. No good. Even bishop here, I've then got 2 attackers on that pawn. This forces an exchange of rooks, doesn't it? Yep. Okay. Now, he's probably sitting there thinking, this guy's taking far too much time. He's having to think to get past me. No. I was talking to you lot. Okay, you're going to have to trade one way or another. That rook is mine. When you're up in material, you want to trade. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Okay, bishop's now guarding that, so I'm going to bring my rook up the board, into the middle. So now, yeah, it's kind of a bit odd. He's got a potential pass pawn, I've got one here. So now it's a question of just swapping things off, I think. This bishop is now completely solid, with a really solid structure here. The knight has become... Ooh. Yeah. Okay, so now he's attacking my bishop. But now I have a fork on king and pawn. So, all good. Okay, so let's grab the pawn. If knight takes bishop, I recapture with this pawn, obviously. So I have to try and not get checkmated. There's a danger of his king coming in here, taking away these 2 squares from mine, but I've got a dark squared bishop. Haha. This is also a threat. Pinning the knight. Okay, he's done it. He's done it. Now I have 2 completely passed pawns. But he has checkmate. What did I forget? The first 2 rules. Yeah, very good. That pawn was already guarding that square. Very well done. Very well done. Let's see if he wants a rematch. For pride. Probably won't. Somebody guessed a couple of things there. So, all right, let's have a quick look at the game review, because I think I was winning pretty much throughout there. But it doesn't matter if you're winning. It doesn't matter if you're winning. If you get sucker punched at the end. Yep. Look at that. Win, boom. Okay? Although, 2 blunders each. So it was not the best showing from both of us. So it actually had it that prior to that blunder, we were actually even. D5 is an inaccuracy. Really? Yeah, D6. I know. I did study that the other day. Well, at least I put it in my notes. But hey, he took en passant anyway, which is clearly not an idea. Good job, that's a free piece. There's an even better move. Bishop takes. Yeah, there's arguments both ways, isn't there? I mean, one is you get the central pawn majority, the other one is you develop a piece for free. I should have developed the piece for free. Because after my move, I've got a stuck bishop. So, makes sense. Okay, good. Yeah, it likes that. So, in general, yeah, I mean, this just doesn't make sense, right? Look, here's a situation, right? It's white to move. He's got one piece developed. Black's got one piece developed, right? Now, white's got two pieces developed. Black's got two pieces developed. And now he's gone back. There's absolutely nothing gained by that. We've both got one piece developed. So, yeah, not great. And now again, I get the pawn majority. I didn't like that. It says that's a mistake. Huh, okay. And, well, big difference though. Yeah, I mean, it's still got me slightly ahead with Queen B6, but this is 2.7 up. Wow. I guess if pawn takes here, I could even have bishop takes and then pawn takes. He's got tripled up pawns. I don't know if that's the line it wanted me to do. Okay, c5 is best. Then he would castle. So, okay. So it wants me to do this. There, apparently he wouldn't have captured. No, capturing there just leaves me with two unopposed pawns at the middle of the board. Okay, that's worth thinking about. Just want to remember. Apparently he'd have castled, according to this. Yeah, interesting stuff. So, but like, as we saw, I do have the advantage all the way up to the end. But it doesn't matter if you get sucker punched at the end. You know, I just forgot, I got overexcited, overconfident. Never get overconfident, right? Simple as that. I forgot the first two rules of Chess Club, right? Is my king safe? And is my king safe? Right, let's leave it there. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later.